Hey everybody, Adam and Danger with Sports Capitalist here, coming at you with our Week 18 breakdown. We're in the final week of the regular season, the first Week 18 for the NFL since their new scheduling format. So a lot of playoff games, or a lot of playoff scenarios, I should say, at stake for a lot of teams. Not the New York Jets, obviously, but Danger, I've got a little bit of a soft spot for the LA Rams for you, so I'll be rooting for them in spirit for you, as well as my second team, the Tennessee Titans. So, Danger, Happy New Year. Did you
Happy New
have a
Year to
good
you
New
too,
Year's
man.
weekend?
Yeah, no, I had a great New Year, man. Went out with some buddies of mine. We went to I don't know if anyone's in the Texas area, but went to Legacy Hall. Had a huge concert outside. It was raining, but that didn't stop us. We went hard.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. How was your New Year's, dude?
Yeah. It was good for what we could do.
Yeah,
We couldn't see a lot of our family due to some situations with the coronavirus going around, but for what we were able to do, it was a good weekend, and I got to watch a hell of a bowl game with Ohio State winning the Rose Bowl. So
dude,
that
that
was a
was a
plus.
fun game. Honestly, we
That
need
was
to
a
get
plus for me.
into
They're like,
college ball next year, man, for sure.
yeah, yep.
But
But we'll hammer out the tweaks that we need to do for the NFL. Obviously, this was our first regular season doing this. I know we started a few weeks into it, but we're just about done. And
yeah, and you know what? I consider myself as just as good as the pros, dude. I don't care what anyone thinks.
yeah,
We're up
yeah.
there, dude. Our
No,
channel might be
no,
small,
no
but
tweaks needed.
yeah,
Yeah,
our channel might be small, but our earnings are big.
yeah, exactly. But I've been proud of a lot of the guys that we've covered and hunches that we've had and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, there were some other ones that didn't work out, but that's daily fantasy. If we were at
Yeah.
100%, then we wouldn't be sharing the picks. We would just be making millions of dollars and not telling
Se-
anybody about it. So
Seriously, if you didn't listen to us on week 14, you really missed out.
yeah,
That was back when I was like, "Hey, start Lockett and Waddle," and they were like both the top
yeah,
receivers that
went
week.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then there was, or if you're watching and you want to fade, which is not going to hurt my feelings, because there was a good, what, 3 or 4 week period where my value quarterback was just absolute trash, because I kept hitching myself to the Derek Carr wagon.
Trevor
So
Lawrence, dude, stamp it in. Oh, it's
it was
only
Trevor
thrown.
Lawrence and Derek Carr
Yeah, man,
for
has
like
only
4 weeks.
thrown 2 TDs in the past like 9 weeks, man. Just a
Yeah,
crazy stat, dude.
yeah. But hey,
But
nuts! What a nuts season it's been, and especially the last couple weeks, especially with the reserve list and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
Danger, before we jump into our daily fantasy picks, I do just kind of want to break down a little bit some of the playoff scenarios that are at stake.
absolutely. Let's do it.
These are the teams that you'll want to maybe lean a little more towards because they have stuff to play for. So let's start. We'll start with the NFC side because I like to bring up your Los Angeles Rams. So
The
the
two
Rams,
seed.
the Rams are currently the only team in the NFC that hasn't clinched their division yet. In terms of the top guys, the
Yeah,
Packers, Buccaneers, Cowboys, they've all clinched their division already. The Rams, in order to do so, I think just need to win,
yeah.
uh, or Arizona loses. One of the two. But if they win, they clinch the division, and likely, I think they would then just stay at the number 2 seed. Um,
Yeah. You
for
still want to
the
definitely start people from both of these games. We're playing the 49ers, who
Mhm.
are still in the hunt. Eagles need to
Yes.
lose, and they're going against the Cowboys, so that's very likely. And again, Rams are the 2 seed, and they haven't clinched their division yet. So
Yeah.
this game you do want to keep an eye on because there's a lot riding on it as well.
Now, what's interesting is so Philadelphia is in the last wild card spot. This is a weird one, but I think Philadelphia has clinched. I think they're in either way.
Oh,
Um,
they clinched. Yeah, clinched playoffs.
but they're behind the Niners, who could potentially not make the playoffs, which is weird to me. But according to the site I'm using,
Yeah, Eagles. Yeah,
that
we're using
the
NFL.com, right? Because they're the 7th seed, and the 6th seed is open right now.
Yeah, so yeah, that's which is yeah, so that's weird. But that appears to be the case. So that last that sixth seed appears to be, or that final spot, I should say, appears to be between the 49ers and the Saints only. Um, so,
Oh,
so again, before I get into that part, you're right. The Rams, you should still play them because they're trying to fight for as much home field advantage as they can get throughout the playoffs. They want to win the division, so they're gonna bring
yeah.
it to the 49ers. And then on the other side of the ball, the 49ers obviously trying to fight for a playoff spot in general. So,
Right. I misread the scenario, but yeah, for sure.
well,
Like,
yeah, and it is, but it is weird because you wouldn't think that the team behind the 49ers is already safe, but that's, I guess, just a weird playoff format, and probably not the first time you're going to see it since they moved to 7 teams in each division making the playoffs now. So the other spot in the NFC is pretty straightforward. San Francisco 49ers win and they're in. The New Orleans Saints win and San Francisco loses. That's how they make it into the playoffs. So,
yeah.
um, so that's really it for the NFC side. And I guess I wanted to start there because they're a lot more simple than what we're looking at on the AFC side. A lot of different scenarios in play where you can really, attack just about any team. I don't think there's really any team that's safe or coasting. They're all still fighting for something, although we've seen that seeding doesn't seem to matter to a lot of these teams. Um,
Yeah, so for the AFC, the 6th and 7th seed is open, and right now,
yeah.
in the hunt, meaning all they have to do is just win their next game, is the Colts and the Chargers, which are, I'm so happy that the Colts are still here. Thank you for
Hmm.
losing to the Raiders last week because
Yeah.
they are up against the Jaguars, man, and
Oh yeah.
if there's another week you want to start JT, man, slamming him, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
He's gonna go nuts against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
yeah, for sure.
Um, and then some others that are still in the hunt. Pittsburgh,
There's a
Pittsburgh needs to
it's a
win.
crazy scenario. Chargers and Raiders need to tie, and then they need to win, and
Yeah.
Colts need to lose. It's not
Yep.
happening. They're out
Yeah.
essentially.
Um, Now the Raiders can make it if they win and the Colts lose,
Yeah.
um, or if they don't win, if the Colts lose and the Steelers lose, somehow that gets them into the playoffs.
Yes, and
Um,
then the Ravens, they can get in
yeah,
if the Chargers and Raiders tie, the Colts lose, and the Steelers lose.
yes, and
So,
they need the Dolphins to lose too.
and they need the Dolphins to lose.
Yeah, that
Who,
at
who are
least
they
that's
playing?
what
Who are they
happened.
playing this week?
The Steelers.
Oh, jeez, yeah,
So both of those teams. Uh,
they need they need Steelers to lose. Yeah,
yep.
but
And then Buffalo and New England, they're both in, but they're still fighting for the AFC East title. So they still have something to play for as well. Buffalo gets the luxury of playing the New York Jets, so it's looking like the Bills will win the
well, and the
division.
Patriots play the Dolphins, so
Yes, but the Patriots, in order for the Patriots to win the division, they would need Buffalo to lose, which hard to see Buffalo losing to New York. Although we've the late season losses to the New York Jets from the Buffalo Bills we've certainly seen before, but Buffalo I think is going to play all of their starters, so I don't think there's any threat of the New York Jets getting it done.
yeah.
I
Well, with
would be
all those
pleasantly surprised.
scenarios, totally not confusing, but
Yeah.
with all those scenarios, man, let's just jump right into it then into the QBs.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we are starting it off, of course, our boy Josh Allen at the very top,
Mhm.
8,100, going against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
How are we feeling
Play
for
him.
the number one top?
Play him. He's gonna demolish them.
Yeah. Oh, for
Um,
sure.
Yeah, so when they played him earlier in the year, I did mention that there was like something weird often happens when Josh Allen plays against the New York Jets, where they just seem to like they still win, but they seem to hold him in check. And then in the game earlier this year, that's what happened for almost the first half of it. And then Stephon Diggs catches a touchdown right before halftime, and then the rest of the game was all Buffalo, and Josh Allen put up big
Yeah.
numbers. So if you want to subscribe to that ideology at all, be my guest. But with the division on the line going against the New York Jets, I can't, in good conscience, say at all to fade Josh Allen this week. I think he is well worth his price at 8,100. I would play him in. I would certainly play him in cash, but I would also play him in GPP because I think he has that much upside
Yeah.
going against Jets who don't have really anything to fight for at this point.
People to watch out for, as in like that most likely are not going to play, and if they are playing, it's not going to be a full game. There's going to be Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers, Tom
Mm-hmm.
Brady,
Yep.
and Joe Burrow.
Yep.
So for the top 7,000, and Lamar Jackson, I believe, is still question. Yeah, he's still questionable.
He's
Um,
questionable, and Joe Burrow is not playing. They've already announced
did they
he's
already
not.
announce it? Okay, yeah. So
Yes.
that's the scenario that we're dealing with. So in the top 7,000, there's only Josh Allen and Kyle Murray, and I have to say I think Josh Allen is just gonna blow these Jets out in the first half and like probably sit him, and that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Kyler Murray a little more. Save you seven
I
hundred
get that.
bucks. They're also going against a terrible Seattle defense, who's
Hmm.
like, I literally think they're like bottom two in both pass and rush defense. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're getting the same attributes in Kyle Murray that you are in Josh Allen. I know Kyle Murray's a little hurt, but he looked good and healthy enough in the Cowboys game. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think he can get you there for that price.
Yeah, and they're still in it to try and win the division. We've talked about before that Josh Allen's rushing upside hasn't been there this
No,
year. So I think that's where Kyler Murray might have an edge on him. Um, Me personally, if I'm choosing between the two, I think I would still pay up and prefer to play Josh Allen, but I could certainly see the logic with Kyler Murray because again, he does have the um, I think he has more rushing upside than Josh Allen does, but just with the scenarios on the line and everything, I think I would still rather play Josh Allen. Although depending on the weather too, I'm not sure what the weather's going to look like in either of those games. So if it's a typical whether it's in Buffalo, is it in Buffalo or New York?
yeah,
It's in
it
Buffalo. So if
is.
it's a gross weather game in
Yeah,
Buffalo compared to sunny Arizona, um, if the weather is bad in Buffalo, I would certainly play Kyler Murray. But assuming that the weather is okay in both sides, I think I'd rather play Josh Allen, but it's close.
man, I'm just like looking through this QB lineup right now, and there's just not a lot with the combination of people getting sat or playing
Hmm.
half games in this, and with also COVID. Your
Yeah.
your your pickings for quarterback this week are really slim. Like I'm just gonna blow through this real quick. Aaron Rodgers, either half game or sitting out. Tom Brady, half game or sitting out. Joe Burrow is sitting out. Lamar hurt. Stafford, I don't. He's been playing really bad, like the last like 6 weeks. Uh,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, he still might be on COVID-19, but hey, they're out of playoff contention. Is he even going to bother to play? Ryan Tannehill, yeah, maybe. Carson Wentz, he's going to be handing off the ball to JT the whole game. Uh,
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield out. Jordan Love is 5,500 and above rankings against Jimmy G and Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, I believe, is still out with COVID. He's questionable. What does he have? It's an ankle injury, right? Knee, something in the leg.
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke, like Justin Fields, COVID-19. Mac Jones, baby, at
No.
54 against the Miami Dolphins. I'm
No.
just saying. Ben
He's,
Roethlisberger, Andy Dalton, like Zach Wilson, like ugh, man, the rest of this slate is disgusting. I
yeah.
think you need to pay up. I think you need to pay up big this week for QBs.
Yeah. And I mean, let me go back to Mac Jones here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
22.28 last week.
Come on, man.
I mean, so that's good. That's really good for his price, but is that good for a team that scored 50 points? I mean, he's still
No.
barely threw for over 200 yards. in a game where they scored 50. So I think Mac Jones is risky just in this. I think he's safe in the sense that you know what you're getting. I think he's
Yeah.
risky in the sense that even for the price that you're paying, the upside, even if they put up a ton of points, is like who knows. And also, I know it was his first NFL game, but week one they played Miami and he looked awful. Um,
Oh,
so,
I mean,
but so
completely different team now. Yeah.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But all that's to say that I agree with you. I think this is a week where you have to pay up for a quarterback because I'm not seeing a ton of value. Especially, we mentioned Carson Wentz handing it off. Ryan Tannehill, who knows? They're playing Houston, so that's a plus. But again, they're currently in the spot for the number one seed. So like, who knows how much he's actually going to play if
And
they
and
get
Houston's
out to a
been
certain amount.
yeah, Houston's been lighting up a little bit recently too.
A little bit,
So
but
you
they're
don't want
also
to
getting
sleep on
Derek.
them. Yeah.
They're also getting Derrick Henry back.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that's why I'm really into Josh Allen this week because I think he's like hands down, he's gonna play. He should play just about the entire game, and he's got a really
Yeah.
good matchup against a bad New York Jets defense at home.
How
Again, weather permitting. Oh, the weather's right up here. Let me see what it's currently saying for that game. Sunny. Or partly cloudy in Buffalo. Yeah, I would play Josh Allen for sure.
I think if we're looking for value, I think there's really only one good option, and to me, and that's Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Like last 4 weeks that he started, 17 points, 9 points. Okay, against Tampa Bay, that was a really gridlock game. 26 and 27 points. Like he's ran for 100 yards, 73 yards, 45 yards. He's looking a lot better, and for that New York Giants game or New York Jets game, two run-in TDs. Like he's looking yeah. The upside is there for Taysom Hill too.
Yeah.
For the same reasons why we're saying Josh Allen and Kyle Murray, but just again a cheaper price.
Yeah. I you're not going to get any argument from me on that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey guys, we're moving on over to the running backs. And at the very top, Jonathan Taylor at 9,300. Indianapolis versus Jacksonville. Bad Jacksonville team. We were hoping, for the narrative of like, oh, Urban Meyer really screwed up this team, and like of course they're gonna bounce back the second he's gone. No, Urban Meyer didn't mess up the team. Don't get me wrong, but his stench is still there. And the stench is so bad, in fact, that the Jacksonville fans are dressing up as clowns to the game this weekend to protest the GM and the owner in protest, dude. Yeah. It's gonna be hilarious to watch.
Good. I love it when the fans do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, they might even have a little bit of incentive to actively try and lose because a loss potentially gets them the number one overall pick, depending on, or a loss would guarantee them the number one overall pick, as opposed to if they win, then they would also need Detroit to win in order to secure the number one pick. So Jacksonville looking at back-to-back years of the worst record in the league. So maybe, I mean, I'm sure the players don't feel that way. They probably want to win, but
exactly.
But they desperately need that number one pick. That's for sure.
Yeah. Bouncing back to JT, what are we thinking here? We already kind of hinted at it before.
Play him. He's safe and he has the upside. They're fighting for the playoff spot. The last time they played Jacksonville, Jonathan Taylor, 116 yards and how many touchdowns? And a touchdown. Did he have a receiving touchdown too? Come on now. No, but 116 yards and a touchdown, 6 receptions. Just play Jonathan Taylor. Don't think twice about it. Unless
don't stress about it. Yeah, he's an easy.
Unless you
easy
can't
start.
afford him, for whatever reason.
The rest of these like 7,000s, like I know Derrick Henry's off the IR, but is he like going to be back?
He's
like
been
playing.
practicing, so
It sounds like
so
yeah, they already clinched it. I wouldn't risk it. Maybe like put him in the fourth
yeah.
quarter, just get his warm up rips in. But
So he's back at practice, but Rossini is reporting that Henry is a long shot to
start,
actually play in
yeah,
this game. Um, Especially if I don't think, and certainly we've seen that the Titans don't need him to beat the Houston Texans. So if he plays, he's an interesting GPP play just because he's Derrick Henry, but they could certainly limit him, and I don't think they're going to be in any rush to try and force him the ball, especially if they're trying to get him healthy for the playoffs because they're in either way. They're just proceeding at this point. Which
yeah,
again, we've seen teams before. If they're in, they don't really care about seeding. We saw last year Pittsburgh actively like sat all of their starters, even though they could have gotten a better seed, and that allowed the Browns to get into the playoffs. Um, which just blew my mind because then they just had to play the Browns again and they lost. So it's like, well, you could have avoided that by just playing them regularly in the season. So some of those teams are a little worrisome to me, the ones that are just fighting for seeding. But yeah, Derrick Henry GPP only play if he actually plays, which I don't. It doesn't sound like he's going to.
yeah. And unlike QBs, running backs this week, I think there's tons of value here on
Hmm.
who you can use to save some money and get like some huge upside. I think too. And
Yeah,
yeah, but are we looking at anybody else that's above like 7,000 here? Because
I mean,
again, I'm just yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Kamara's an interesting pivot off of Taylor if you're trying to save money and potentially, really, if you're just trying to save money, going against Atlanta's defense. Um, you know, Dalvin Cook, we don't know the nature. Yeah, we don't really know the state of that offense. Um, Aaron Jones, that's like Rodgers. Who knows if they decide to pull him during part
Yeah,
of the game?
or just put in AJ
Um,
Dillon, he's in performing still better than Jones recently.
yeah.
Almost
Now,
this
if
whole
he plays
season.
Nick Chubb's an interesting option
No,
because he should get the ball a ton.
no,
Um, no,
I respectfully disagree. Uh,
well,
they
Baker
have not
Mayfield's
been
not
giving
playing.
this guy the ball at all for the past few weeks, man, and it's been really frustrating to watch.
It has been, but you also have to think, when they're playing against or they're playing against the Bengals, who are also playing their backup quarterback. They don't have anything to play for. I don't think they're going to be tossing it down the field a ton with Case Keenum. The
Yeah,
Browns are. So while it has been frustrating over the last few weeks, I think the game plan for this week leans more towards Nick Chubb being more involved than he has been over the past week. Um, so yeah, it's really just the top three for me. Taylor, Kamara, and Chubb are all that I'm interested in among the guys 7,000 and above.
gotcha. All right, moving on down to like the to value picks, and I'm just gonna pick three that are just right out in there real quick, and I'm
Mhm.
actually super digging Damian Harris this week.
Yep.
Against the Miami Dolphins. 67, again, somewhat of a value pick. I know it's close to the 7,000 range, but I think he's going to get you there. I think this is going to be like a 35-point game for him this week. Just
Yeah.
running over this Miami defense. And I have to say, Penny and Montgomery are right next to him on these pricings. I think they're both actually pretty darn good pickups for the week too.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
go yeah. Uh, Eli is. Why am I blanking right now? Eli Mitchell is in. Again, Rams run D is not good either. They're like 23rd in the league. It's not Eli Mitchell. Where's Wilson actually? Sorry. Right? Doesn't
No, you're
matter.
talking about the runners running. There's Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson. Let me pull it up real quick.
Jeff Wilson is 5,300. Elijah Mitchell is currently
Yeah,
he's still limited as
he's still limited. He hasn't come back yet.
as
But
something to monitor.
yeah. Well, if that's the case, just go down a little bit further down to Deontay Foreman. It's possibly his last game as the starting running back against this guy. He's actually performing great, and they actually, if you watch the Footballers podcast, they do a thing called opportunist upperbacks or something like that. How many opportunities that this running back gets to when he's on the field, and it's like if he's on the field, 68 of the plays are going to him. So Tennessee is still keeping up that we're a run offense first, and Deontay Foreman has been performing along with Hillard, but Foreman has been doing a little bit more than him. He's a little bit more. He's in the red zone a little more than Hillard. And I was blanking on the other San Francisco running back, but yeah, definitely him. Where is he? Jeff Wilson. Yeah.
Jeff Wilson.
He's definitely like the scheme is there for him because now Trey Lance is the starting quarterback. I think Wilson's a good pickup this week.
Yeah. A couple guys that I really like. I agree with you on Montgomery and Penny for sure. I think David Montgomery's got a really good opportunity in front of him here against Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure.
Damian Harris, I do like if he plays, but he's still nursing a hamstring injury. So he was limited at practice. So something to monitor. If he doesn't play, then I was going to bring up Ramondre Stevenson at 5,900 going against the Dolphins. If Harris does not play, Stevenson is a slam dunk play at 5,900 for sure.
Perfect.
I even still kind of like him even if Harris plays because they've really started to kind of split that workload even after he came back. Our boy Cordarrelle Patterson, he go out in a ball of fire, 6,400. The upside that he can bring. He's certainly risky given his recent performances and going against the Saints defense, which is surprisingly good against fantasy running backs. But we've seen what Cordarrelle Patterson has done in the past. The last time they played New Orleans, Cordarrelle Patterson 22.6 fantasy points on DraftKings. So if you think they can scheme around him again, I would certainly play him at 6,400. So those were just a few more of the guys that I wanted to bring up there.
Gotcha. And a quick shout out also to Chase Edmond. Just monitored James Conner as well if he's still going to start or not. Again, Seattle's run D is the 31st worst run D in the league. Second, they're the second worst in the league. Definitely check out Chase Edmonds for this week too. And any final thoughts on running backs before we go on to wide receivers?
No, let's move on to
Let's do it. And wow, I'm actually kind of in shock. Cooper Kupp, the highest at 97, and I think Derrick Henry has only beaten this once with like a 9,800.
Probably, yeah.
Double check that, but. What are we? You know what? Let's get your unbiased opinion. The highest that Derrick Henry has been was 92. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Let's get your unbiased opinion on this. Is Cooper Kupp worth the almost $10,000 price tag this week?
So I'm gonna have the same take that I've had over the last few weeks, where I think he can get you there, and I would certainly look his way into GPP, but. You probably couldn't afford him and Jonathan Taylor, so if I'm picking between the two, I think I'd rather play Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
But he's, just about as safe as you can get in terms of the points he can get you, but the points compared to how much he's going to cost is truly the question here. So that's a tough price, but I would certainly play him in a GPP because, again, we mentioned this Rams 49ers game. They're not exactly going to be resting any of their starters unless one blows out the other, which I don't foresee happening in this game. So he certainly can still get you there at that price point. I just feel a little bit better about Jonathan Taylor at 9,300.
Gotcha, for sure. No, for sure on that. Again, with Rodgers being out, I wouldn't recommend Devontae Adams, but I would definitely recommend, because if you look at the top 7,000, most of these guys are going to be on the bench or, not really trying that hard because their game doesn't matter. But Debo Samuel, man. And the last time he played against the Rams, he scored 31 points. Do I think he'll repeat that? Honestly, yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like, I understand Jimmy's out, but Debo is just literally putting this team on his back. And if you didn't see him in the last game where he's like he literally almost collapsed a lung just from breathing so hard on this. It's crazy. Yeah, I think Debo Samuel in the top 7,000 here is definitely worth the price this week.
Yeah, the wide receivers in the top 7,000, I'm really only looking at a few of them because you're right. A lot of these guys are either potentially resting for the playoffs, partially through the game based on where they're at, or they have questionable quarterback scenarios. So Devontae Adams going against Detroit probably doesn't play that full game. Jamar Chase, backup quarterback. Justin Jefferson, we're still not sure with Kirk Cousins. Stephon Diggs I really like because I really like Josh Allen. So Kupp, Samuel, and Diggs in kind of that 7,000 and above are really the only three that I'm interested in. Deontay Johnson, COVID-19 list.
Really?
Yeah. T. Higgins, backup quarterback. Mike Evans potentially doesn't play that full game. A.J. Brown potentially doesn't play that full game. So yeah, I mean, Kupp, again, we covered Kupp. He's safe for the points he can get you, but he's really pricey. Debo Samuel, especially if Elijah Mitchell doesn't play, has insane upside going against the Rams defense. And then Stephon Diggs gets the luxury of going against the New York Jets. So, yeah, in the 7,000 and above tier, those are really only the three guys that I would look at.
Gotcha. And real quick before we go into the help me out here. What's the word?
Value picks.
Value picks. Thank you. Just an honorable shout out to Amon-Ra St. Brown for the glow up he had in the past 5 games, man. Absolute stud, dude. And like we've saw the trend going. We're like, oh man, apparently this guy's the wide receiver 1 now for this team, and it doesn't matter which quarterback it is. He's, dude, I don't know. He could see it's just crazy where this guy came from, and all of a sudden just started doing it. Will he repeat it again in at Green Bay? They're not in Green Bay, right? They're at Detroit.
Correct.
Yeah. Will he have the same? Let me ask you this: do you think he'll have the same repeat success against this Green Bay defense at their own home game?
Probably not, but I still think he's a good play at his price. The last time they played Green Bay was week 2, so very different team. And obviously that was only his second professional game, only 4.8 points. But obviously, again, recently, of his last, 5 games, he's only had 1 below 20 points. And even then he scored 15, which is still really solid. It's tough to, I don't know. It's still tough to get around the whole, he's on the Lions, their quarterback situation, all that kind of stuff. I was really big on him coming out of college. So his skill set doesn't surprise me, but the fact that he's been able to do it, given the quarterback situation in Detroit, has been very impressive.
It's actually so insane. Like, give me because I'm looking at his stats right now, and yeah, we're kind of going on a rant real quick with this guy, because he went from consistently getting 4 targets a game to double digits. Like ever since week 13. Was week 13 Minnesota versus Minnesota? No, Goff did play that game. Yeah. They just figured something out with this guy, because like he's actually now doing rushing attempts too. Like they're kind of treating him like a Debo Samuel. So yeah. Sorry, no,
just got himself a rushing touchdown last week. So.
Sorry, just kind of fangirling over this guy real quick and just appreciating good athletic ability.
My final gut feeling on St. Brown is I don't know that he can have like another 25-point game this week, but I think he can still get you into the high teens, which for his price is still a real solid play.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the rest of the value picks here, and you can start it off, man. Who are we liking here?
So I'm gonna mention a guy that I think that you've been super dogging on over the last few weeks, but I really like his matchup and his price drop, and that's Terry McLaurin at 6,200. Um, I'm a huge I'm a huge Terry McLaurin fan. It's been such a bummer that you've been right about him recently. I mean, last week he did get 13.1, but that's not great, especially considering he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 11. So I think he's about
Gross.
due. Um, but the targets the targets have still been pretty consistent. I mean, they've dropped a little bit since the early season when he was really kind of tearing it up, but um, he's been disappointing over recent weeks. But he gets to play the Giants, which is good. The last time he played the Giants in week 2, 30.7 points on DraftKings. So I love Terry McLaurin at 6,200. He's my value wide receiver of the week.
Gotcha. I have two here. And I do want to bring up, I'm going to bring up the guy that's literally right above Terry McLaurin here, and that's going to be Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Jalen Waddle. Not this week, man.
Not against the Patriots.
Not against the
Yeah.
Patriots. Yeah, no way, dude.
Yeah.
Brandon Cook. I mean, he's been the unsung hero of this team for the whole year, man. I'm so sorry that Sean McVay sent you there for punishment. For not catching that touchdown pass in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. What's up?
Yeah. He seems to get sent everywhere for punishment, though. This guy's played for how many teams in the league now?
I think he's up to like 6 though. But he's like the perfect wide receiver too. In my eyes, it's so crazy how people aren't actively trying to get this guy. I think it's because of his age. Because what is he like? He's like 33 now or something like that. Wow, real old. I know I'm like 2 years away from that, but like, he's still incredibly, insanely good. It's so odd how he's just being treated, and he's been on Super Bowl teams. It's whatever. That's my rant. And the other guy, a guy that I've actually been a little hot on, and I'll pat myself on the back for the past few weeks. And that's because this wide receiver has been out and whatnot, and that is KJ Osborne now. Like he's a great wide receiver too. He's going against a very suspect Chicago. When Adam Thielen's out, Osborne's stock goes way up.
Yeah.
If you see the trend of that this whole year, and he's only at 5,500. I need to double check this, but I think he's literally scored a touchdown almost every game Adam Thielen wasn't in. But while I don't
know which ones specifically Thielen has missed, but KJ Osborne has scored a touchdown in 4 of his last 5 games.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just about to say, tell you that same thing. But he's great for the price. Again, Thielen is now out for sure. And honorable mention to Brandon Ayuk. He's finally stepping up a bit.
Yeah. I really like KJ Osborne at 55. I think even though we talked about potentially what's going on with Cousins in the offense, I think regardless of who's playing quarterback, I would still play KJ Osborne at 5,500.
Yeah.
And we saw it last week. I mean, he still managed to score even with their backup quarterback in. So still very interested in him regardless of their quarterback situation. At 5,500. I agree with you 100% on Cooks. I'm trying to see if there's any other guys I want to bring up before, but nobody here is really moving the needle for me.
Well, I'll also do an honorable shout out for Van Jefferson. And while you're looking for someone, because I love those players that are just super cheap, and all that you need is one deep bomb from this guy, and you get your money's worth. But speaking of bombs or busts, what are your feelings against T.Y. Hilton? At 47 and going against the Jags, and even though it was a kind of a garbage touchdown last week,
Yeah, he scored in 3 of his last 5. Yeah, and he gets the luxury of playing Jacksonville. I don't hate it at 4,700. Um, his his price is helping him there, so I don't hate him at 4,700. It's not like a slam dunk play to me, but um, I don't mind it. I could see that working out for sure.
Gotcha.
Um, one other guy I am going to bring up is Darnell Mooney at 5,900.
Mm.
Minnesota, dead last in the league against fantasy wide receivers. And it doesn't seem to matter who's playing quarterback. He's involved in the offense. Um, at least 10 points over the last 3 weeks, almost 20 last week. So I do like him at 5,900 as well. So I'll give him a honorable shout out. But Terry McLaurin at 6,200 is my slam dunk play this guy this week.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney. I mean, you're completely right about Minnesota. They have allowed a total of 44.6 on average to wide receivers. That is just so crazy. The next one is the Seattle Seahawks at 39, dude. Like, or somewhere along here. Oh, whatever. But just take my word for it. But 44.6, dude. That's insane. Yeah. With that being said, guys, I think we're done here with the wide receivers, and we're going on to the tight ends. And Adam, man, start me off here with Mark Andrews, the highest here, going against Pittsburgh, $7,500.
I mean, he's been even without Lamar Jackson, he's been going nuts lately. 14, almost 15 fantasy points, 29, 38, 31. I mean, he's just been on an absolute tear. I think with a lot of the guys that we've talked about, and especially when we're talking about, paying up for quarterback and Jonathan Taylor and all these other guys, I think it's going to be hard to squeeze in Mark Andrews at 7,500. But if you're finding some of these value plays and you have the room for Mark Andrews, I think he's the safest tight end on the slate, even above George Kittle this week.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. George Kittle hasn't been doing much recently either. Rob Gronkowski's a bit interesting just because, again, now Antonio Brown's out, so you need Mike Evans and him to step up even more now. So
it's just tough.
Yeah.
Because he's also in that scenario of do they rest him early, especially if they're smoking Carolina, which is very likely.
Yeah, same thing with Knox and everything. I'm actually kind of digging Zach Ertz.
Me too.
This week at 53, that's a pretty good price for him. Oh,
yep.
I definitely like Hunter Henry. I always like going to that
for sure.
Huh?
At 4,000 for sure.
Yeah, man, against Miami, dude, that looks like too good to be true, honestly. And where is our boy, dude?
Dan Arnold?
Yeah, dude, where is he? He's not even on the list. No.
Yeah, I thought they shut him down for the year. Did
they
not?
Really? Oh, with COVID and all that? Yeah.
Might have. Hang on, let me do a.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's down to 2,500, but he's on the Jaguars. No, they activated him.
No way.
Oh,
why
restored him to injured reserve.
Oh, they put him back on IR?
Hang on a second. This is really confusing.
Yeah, hold on. Let me
fully
look
recovered
him up
if
too.
Arnold fares well in practice. So, okay. All right. So, he is a maybe to play this week. And the Colts are 30th against fantasy tight end. So that's
keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, I'll say keep an eye out for him. I'm not going to say that's a slam dunk, but at 2,500, if he's good to go, that's a sneaky play for sure at 2,500.
I feel like for tight ends more than any other position, we're just pick the same guys like that we said last week. It's almost
they've been consistent and the pricing doesn't really change. So
very true.
It's much more of a touchdown dependent position.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, Ertz, Andrews is an obvious one. Our boy Dan Arnold. I do have one more that I really like this week, and that's Anthony Firkser for the Tennessee Titans. Even if they start to if they rest some of their starters, I feel like Ferkser's still going to be on the field. Um, and their passing options are limited. The
Yeah.
last time they played Houston, Anthony Ferkser, 13.6 DraftKings points. So, um, and for 3,100, that's certainly good enough to get you there. So Ferkser's the last kind of value guy that I'll bring up.
Yeah, another value guy, but I mean, for me, just pay the extra $300 and get Hunter Henry. Is Gerald Everett? He's not hurt or anything, right?
Hmm.
I need to double check that.
Nope, nope.
I
He
knew he
appears
was
to be
like,
good to go at the moment.
okay, perfect. I really like him. He is a bit touchdown dependent, but I mean, so is basically all these tight ends that are below
Yeah,
Dawson Knox. Really,
yeah.
it's more like, do you want to risk that? I think he could still get it done against Arizona. Gerald has kind of served like the oh shit button for Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
A little bit like in the mid in the mid range area, so he'll definitely get like
yeah.
the receptions and all that. But and he has scored quite a few touchdowns in the past few weeks too. Let me pull him up real quick
Hmm.
on the actual site. Um, yeah, 2 in the last 4 games, and he's been double digits except for his last game against Detroit. That's kind of weird, but
Yeah,
yeah. I think if I remember right, DK Metcalf was just showing off that game.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, a bit of a punt play, but safer pick. Pay $300 more, get Hunter Henry.
yeah. I would agree with that.
All right, moving on to the defense here, and I, this my strategy for all of these weeks have been go cheap so you can go expensive somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's consistently been mine. This week I'm going to switch it up because
Are you?
yes, because I am really liking the New England Patriots at 36 against Miami this week.
Yeah,
I think Belichick's gonna just end this season with a bang, get
yeah,
you 25 points in that Patriot slot, and I think he's gonna definitely help you get there. And I'm actually surprised they're not the most expensive.
yeah, yeah. And I agree with that 100%. And certainly paying up for some of these other ones, especially if they sit their starters and some of the offenses get some garbage time points, that could affect their upside. But like Tampa Bay and Buffalo and Green Bay, those kinds of teams. But I agree 100% on the Patriots because they always have that upside, especially going
Yeah,
uh, against Miami, and you know how I feel about Tua. But I think there's still some interesting options that I'm seeing in the cheaper range. Really liking the Washington football team at 3,100 going against the Giants. The Giants are just a turnover factory. Um,
gotcha.
so I really like the football team defense at 3,100. And a really interesting one that I really like that I don't think I've recommended all year because they are a very bad defense, but this week I'm interested in them. And that's the Cleveland Browns
I
at 2,600.
knew it.
Um, I haven't recommended them all year, but Brandon Allen is not a good quarterback. They're also at the moment not going to have Joe Mixon. Cleveland's at home. It should be low scoring either way because with Case Keenum under center, and if they do get Chubb more involved, they like to control the tempo of the game. I really like the Browns defense at 2,600 this
Yeah,
week.
I was looking at them because I just saw a stat this year that even though um and I think this has to be because of Jamar Chase, but Joe Burrow's like the most efficient like long passer and all that, but he is also given up the most longest sacks, and I think that's because that's obviously
Wow.
because of the O line is garbage. They definitely need next year if they don't go all the way, which I think there's a decent chance. I think Bengals are definitely the dark horse of like the whole playoff contention here.
I agree with that. I agree with
Um,
that.
but yeah, I was just eyeballing him. I'm like, is he gonna say the Browns? I'm like, there's no like. Yeah, but the O-line
Yep, it's
stinks
the Browns.
for the Browns. On average, when they do sack a quarterback against this team, it's like 7 yards, apparently, the highest in the
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
And I let me find that stat real quick. But yeah, definitely agree with you on the Cleveland Browns. I think that's a great
And
pick.
for what it's worth, even though this was a very different team the last time because this was week 9, but when the Browns played the Bengals earlier in the year, Cleveland's defense 18 fantasy points on DraftKings. Um, so yeah, the Browns, if we're not considering value at 3,100 for the football team, because I really like the football team at 3,100, but if we're considering value under 3,000, I think the Browns are my favorite defense this week.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you there. I didn't find the stat, but I found that I found that Allen found out that he was the starting quarterback when Joe Burrow sent him a text and said, "Tag, you're in." I
Yeah,
thought that was pretty funny.
yeah, that was good. That
But
was good.
yeah, where is that stat? But Justin Fields, COVID-19. Holy cow, man!
Yeah,
It's just crazy. All the
that's
drama that's been happening in this league right now. Most
yeah,
noticeably, obviously Antonio Brown, but
yeah,
yeah. But we're a
yeah.
DFS
That
show.
hurt. Yeah, and that hurts. It hurts even extra because last week, if you remember, so I got eliminated from the playoffs on point 0.2 points because Eckler was on the reserve list, and then James Robinson was he got 10 yards and tore his Achilles. And that hurts extra because if one of those guys would have played just a little bit more, I would have won, and then the guy that I was going to play, uh, I would have smoked him this week.
Yeah,
So I
no,
would have
I
won that
started,
league
dude.
if
Like,
uh,
yeah,
if that didn't happen. So
I definitely fumbled at the 1 yard line there and didn't make the touchdown, and I lost pretty much the
yeah,
whole thing. Whatever. I
a
can't find
bad
this.
beat.
I can't find the stat. It was on Reddit, on the NFL's Reddit
Yeah, I
page,
did
but
lie last week though, but just a little slight brag.
I
Last
lied.
week I said no, I
Oh,
did. So, and this is just a slight brag before we get into our spreads and totals and everything. But last week I did say that this was going to be the first year that I didn't at least make it to the championship in any league, or I didn't win any league that I was in. And then I forgot that there's a league that I'm just not as invested in that I am in the championship game this week.
really?
Um,
Nice,
so I was like, great, I have at least something to fight for.
nice.
All right, so
Yeah,
let's get into our spreads and picks that we close out our videos with. We're gonna do all the games, even not the main slate ones. It's the last week of the
yeah.
of the
Just do
regular season.
Saturday.
A
Yeah.
lot's on the line. We'll do Saturday. We'll do Sunday night football, and then let's close it out by doing the college football championship too, shall we? So, just for
Bama.
kick. Yeah, ooh, okay. Well, then we're gonna differ there. So, the two Saturday games, we'll start with the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Denver Broncos. Chiefs are 11.5 point road favorites.
Yeah, give me the point. Give me the points, Chiefs, and give me a over.
Give me Vic Fangio pulling one out. I have such a hard time not taking double-digit home underdogs, so I'll take the Broncos with the points there. The over/under is 45.
Over.
I'm gonna go under on that one. And then the other Saturday game, the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is 5 point road favorites.
Dude, you know what, man? Give me the Eagles.
Do it, yeah. So am I.
Like,
I'll take the Eagles too. My
yeah.
my neighbor is a Eagles fan, and he thought I was crazy earlier in the year when I said I think the Eagles are gonna make the playoffs, and
Oh,
he's
really? Did he
told me
watch the show or something?
no, just in chatting with him, um, I mentioned that, and he's like, "There's no way this team's making the playoffs," and boom. So, uh, yeah, I'll take the Eagles with the points there too. Over under is 43.5.
43 and a half. So, give me over.
Yeah, I'll take the over there too. All right. This is going to be the same situation as last week. The Houston Texans are hosting the Tennessee Titans. Titans are 10.5 point road favorites.
Yeah, give me Titans.
Yeah. So this
Especially
happened.
yeah, especially if Derrick Henry like actually plays. Again, monitor it. It doesn't sound like he's going to. But yeah,
Probably not.
If
Either
Derrick
way.
Henry's, huh?
Either way, I would take the
Yeah,
Titans.
yeah, yeah. It's more of a slam dunk if Derrick Henry's in. It's like, oh my,
Yeah.
dude. I just want if he does play, dude. I want it to be so dramatic, like the build up on TV of him like coming
Oh
back.
yeah.
Like every step you hear him, it's like the earth quakes, and you just see like
Yep.
linebackers like shiver or some quiver or something
Just
like that.
put the 8K camera on him the whole game.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Um.
They need to put a camera like in his helmet next season, dude, and just
Oh
go.
yeah.
That would be
That would be
so
incredible.
sick, dude. Can you
Yeah.
imagine if they started doing
Um.
stuff like that?
Oh, it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, it has
Uh.
to.
So I did this either last week or the week before where I made a pick and I was like, I hate betting against double digit home underdogs. And then I see the Houston Texans as double digit home underdogs. And I'm like,
Yeah,
there's no way I'm taking the Texans.
yeah,
So
no, yeah,
I'm going to do the same there. The over under there is 43.
yeah. Give me under.
I'm going to take the over there because I think Houston's good for some garbage time points there.
Yeah, true.
The Buffalo Bills hosting the New York Jets. Bills are 16-point home favorites.
Oh my god, that has to be the biggest spread of the year.
Not of the year, but of this week for sure. But we've had some that were. I think the Browns at one point, when everybody was hyping up, were like. I think they were like 19-point favorites against the Texans or something.
Serious? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty nuts.
not the Jets. I already forgot what the other team was.
The Bills,
Bills. Thank you. Sorry.
not the Jets, is a
Not
good
the
way
Jets.
to make money in the gambling world.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Easy money,
FYI,
dude.
for sure.
Gambling hacks
But
for you. There you go.
but I'm gonna be a bad one, and I'm gonna take the Jets to cover and end the season on a high note.
Oh, jeez.
Um,
Okay.
they won't win, but they'll at least cover, and we can be like, hey, we did something. The over under there is 41.
No, give me over on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take the over
Yeah,
on that
I
one
think
for sure.
Jets will, compete a little bit. But
They should. Zach Wilson, surprisingly, just on a little Jets tangent, since his return from injury towards the end of his rookie year, has been better, a lot better, like over the last few weeks.
yeah.
Um, in the sense that he's at least not turning the ball over.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, all right, so this will be a good one. The Baltimore Ravens hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ravens are 4.5 point home favorites.
Gross. Gross game, dude.
It should be a slugfest. Yeah, it's gross
Yeah.
in terms of fantasy, but I think it'll actually still be a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be a typical rival game, but it's going to
Yeah.
be a gross game. Um gosh, dude, give me the Steelers.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the Ravens there. Um, over under is 41.5.
Under.
Yeah, under. Oh, you're gonna laugh at this over under. But before that, the Cleveland Browns hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Browns are 6 point home favorites.
Oh, because yeah, I
Yeah,
was just thinking about this too. I'm like, you just said Mixon's out, and we both knew that Joe Burrow's out. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised Saturday you just hear like, oh yeah, Higgins, Boyd, and Chase are out too, and they
yeah,
just
for
like
sure.
put in practice squad people.
Yeah,
They do that. They clinched it. They deserve it. You know what I mean?
for
They'll
sure.
they'll play for like half of the first quarter, and yeah.
Maybe.
But with that being said, dude, well, they're starting Chubb and all that. Yeah, give me Browns.
Yeah, I'll take the Browns -6 there. The over under is 38.
Gross. So
Yeah, that's
gross.
the
Give me
lowest on the
under.
slate, and I'm still gonna take the under as well.
Yeah.
Um, the Washington football team visiting the New York Giants. Potentially the last time they're called the Washington football team. They might be, or
Did
they're
you
going to announce their new name in February, I
did
think.
you see the meme
Um,
that was going around that some guy faked a thing where they called them the Groundhogs because
no,
they're announcing their team name on Groundhog Day.
oh,
It
that would
it
be good.
it circulated for a hot minute. Even I bought into it. I'm like, you know what? This does seem like a stupid enough decision that Dan Snyder would make.
For sure. I mean, it shouldn't have taken them this long in the first place.
Yeah, apparently they're gonna rename it to the Admirals. But Anyways,
I don't mind it.
yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of want to see the logo though.
Yeah.
Give me Washington football team, man. Just Taylor Heineke, dude. I salute you.
Yeah, I'll take.
I can't wait to be your XFL owner in the future.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think I can't remember if I mentioned the spread, but Washington is 7-point road favorites. I'm still going to take Washington there.
yeah, give me Washington.
The over. Oh, actually, that previous game wasn't the lowest over under on the slate. This one is 37.5.
I was about to say, isn't like the lowest we've ever seen is like 36, or
Probably maybe 36.5, something
yeah.
like that. At least this season.
Give me over on that. There's just no
Yeah, I
way.
think I'll take the over on that one too.
Yeah, both of the starters are in. I mean, except Mike Glennon, obviously, but
Yeah, put some
Barkley's
respect
in,
on
right?
Mike Lennon. Yeah, I think most of their starters should be in.
All right.
And obviously I'm big on Terry McLaurin this week.
Yeah.
He'll cover the over by himself.
Yeah.
The
Seriously.
Minnesota Vikings are hosting the Chicago Bears. Vikings are 5.5-point home favorites.
Whew, this one's kind of tough, actually.
That is tough. I'd probably stay away from that one, honestly.
Yeah. Give me Vikings.
I'll take the Bears to cover that. Over under is 44.
Give me over.
I'll take the under on that one.
Yeah.
So we'll differ there. Here we go. The Indianapolis Colts visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colts are 15.5-point road favorites.
Yeah. Give me that. Give me a piece of that.
I think I'll take the Jags to cover double. I just don't like the Texans, I guess, but
You
double
mean
digit
Jags?
home underdogs. Yeah, well, I'm saying like the Texans are the only time that I don't pick double digit home underdogs.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, give me the Jaguars on that one. Over under is 44.
Really?
Yeah,
give me under.
I'll take the over on that one. This one is surprising and probably speaks to the fact that they're probably going to rest starters and all that. The Detroit Lions are hosting the Green Bay Packers. Packers are only 3.5-point road favorites.
Oh. That means Jordan Love. Yeah, still give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I would still take Green Bay there
Yeah, still
too.
give me Green Bay.
Yeah, Detroit's fighting.
Gosh, can you imagine if Detroit Lions just, for some reason, just start winning in the first half? Like, do you think they'll still bench Rodgers?
I don't know what their seating situation is, but probably.
Gotcha. Like, okay, like imagine like the first half is like 24-7.
Unless Rodgers, and this is more narrative based, unless Rodgers is really set on like this is
my MVP season.
Well, yeah, if he's really set on he's leaving Green Bay after this year, I could see a scenario where he's like, I'm not losing to the Lions my last game here. So if they're losing at halftime, I could see that happen. But that's
Jordan
more
narrative. Jordan Love, sit the hell back down.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if I was a Lions fan, that's all I would talk about for the next 20 years is, well, we beat Aaron Rodgers in his last game.
Rodgers,
The over-under is 44.5.
Give me under.
Yeah, same. The Atlanta Falcons hosting the New Orleans Saints. Saints are 3.5-point road favorites.
This is going to be garbage football, too. Give me New Orleans.
Yeah, it seems a little too obvious, so I'm gonna take Atlanta to play spoiler and cover the 3.5.
Apparently, they released Calvin Ridley too.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yep, I saw that. That's been making its rounds on Jets Twitter because everybody's like, oh, they should go get him, and I'm like, we have an entire back seven that's got to go, so I'm not concerned about wide receiver at the moment.
Yeah.
Over under is 40.
Under.
I'll take the over on that one. Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Carolina Panthers. Tampa Bay 8-point home favorites.
Yeah, still give me Tampa.
Yeah, agreed. Over under 41.5.
Give me over.
Yeah, same. We'll both take Tampa and the over. Here we go. Probably the game of the week. The Los Angeles Rams hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Rams are 4.5-point home favorites.
Man, you know what, dude?
That's a tough one, actually.
This one just screams upset to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just screams it. Yeah, man, give me San Francisco.
I think
I
so
feel
too.
awful saying it, but
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that San Francisco wins, but that line is weird enough that I think they cover 4.5.
yeah.
Over under is 44.5. I'm surprised that's not higher. I'm going to take
Yeah.
the over.
Yeah, give me over. My faith in Stafford has definitely been shaken. It's like he threw
Yeah.
another pick six, dude. It's so like I watched a YouTube video of all of his pick sixes for the last half of the season.
Hmm.
They're all decision making ones too. Where
Yeah, they're
I
dumb.
can't take this sack here and lose 3 yards. I'd rather try to throw it. And
Yeah.
there is something I think wrong with his arm, not wrong, but uh, there's some
Off.
arm strength issues there too. Because you'll also see it when he tries to throw a deep ball. It's just slightly underthrown.
Yeah.
And they also were in that in those pick sixes, and they're always short routes too, where they just do a little quick slant out.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I don't know. Another rant for the Rams this week.
Yeah. I still think the Rams win, but I think San Francisco covers there, and I'm going to
Give
take
me
the
San
over on
Francisco
that one.
wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins hosting the New England Patriots. Patriots are
Pa-
6.5-point road favorites.
Yeah, whatever favors Patriots this game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm for.
Yep. Same. Over under is 40. That's a tough one.
Give me
actually.
over.
Yeah, because I think the Patriots could absolutely smoke them.
Yeah.
And cover it by themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be
I'd probably stay away from that one, but I think I'll go over on that one too.
yeah.
Arizona Cardinals hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Arizona 6.5-point home favorites.
Oh man, this one's hard too. But
Yeah,
still
Cliff Kingsbury
still
in
give
the
me
second half
Cardinals
of the
though.
year.
I think
it's tough
Seahawks.
to
I think
bet.
Seahawks will definitely put up whatever the over under is. Give me over.
Yeah, it's
But
48,
Oh.
which
we
yeah.
have the over under right here on the defense of the page. I don't know why
Oh,
I've
there
never
you go.
noticed that. Yeah.
I've just been using my app
There's a
here.
lot of
And it
stats
does
here,
depend.
guys.
Yeah, and it does depend on the site and everything. Different sites are going to have
True.
different
Yeah, they're pulling this straight from
over-unders.
DraftKings then.
Yeah, over under's 48. Actually, I think I might go under on that one.
Yeah, no, give me over. Seahawks have definitely been stepping up a little bit. Rashad Penny's a beast, and Arizona Cardinals run D is suspect, to say the least. And yeah,
All right, and then Sunday Night Football playoff spot on the line. The Las Vegas Raiders hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are 3-point road favorites.
Chargers, baby.
Give me the Raiders. Give me the Cinderella story
No, give me. Yeah.
any day.
Come on, Herbert.
Just insane what the Raiders have done, given everything.
Dude,
that's
I'm
happened.
gonna call it right now. There's gonna be a whole spiel that win or lose for the Chargers about how analytics football is the new norm and
Yeah,
blah 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 blah. Which I mean, it is gonna be the future, but I don't know.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Raiders to cover there. But probably maybe even win.
Give me Chargers.
Over under is 49.5. I think that's the highest on the slate.
49.5. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's tough. I think I might take the under on that
Yeah,
one.
same here.
All right. So that's gonna do it for the NFL. And then just real quick, Monday college football championship. Number 1 Alabama against number 3 Georgia. Georgia is 3-point favorites.
Bama.
I'm gonna take Georgia.
Give me Bama. Give me whatever the over under is over.
I get it. It's tough to bet against Bama, but
Dude, it's like betting against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, dude. Just don't do it.
I know
Just don't do it.
that worked out for me in high school when I said that the Giants would end their undefeated season. So that was fun for me. That got me started on the whole DFS and
Nice.
all that kind of stuff. I was like, the Giants will get it done. Yeah, I mean, it just seems a little too obvious. Bama being 3-point underdogs. I'm gonna take Georgia there.
Gotcha.
And the over under is 52. That's gonna go over.
Yeah, that's over.
Sure.
It's literally going to be like a 100-point game.
I would honestly
80.
rather bet on the over under than the spread or the winner, because I think it's that close. But either way, I think this game goes over. So that would be like my lock pick for that game.
Gotcha.
All right, so everybody, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, especially if you've made it this far.
Ring the doorbell.
Forgot to bring it up at the beginning of the video, which I need to. That's one tweak that we got to start doing going into next year. But we're still going to come at you with our playoff games and picks all the way up through the Super Bowl. So we're still going to be putting out content. We'll put out some off-season content as well.
Yeah. Like the draft.
For you guys. Yeah. Also, make sure to join our Discord in the link below, so that you can get our final rankings and everything, shortly before kickoff, as opposed to the video, because a lot of information can change between now and then, especially with the current state of the world. So everybody, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being with us, for the season. If you're a repeat viewer, we certainly appreciate it. We'll come back at you with next season, and you might see me a little sooner, because I will be doing some individual NASCAR videos once the season starts up, which will be the week after the Super Bowl. So no rest for the weary on my end. So Danger, what a season. I'm glad that we could do this kind of stuff, and that we managed to get together and start making some weekly content. I had a blast doing it, and we'll certainly do some tweaks and get into it next year.
Yeah, we're gonna be coming back swinging, dude. Watch.
That's right. And next year, it'll be the New York Jets year, I believe that. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everybody, Jets, Rams, Super Bowl. If the Super Bowl next year is the Jets and the Rams, we have to go.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I say that now because I know how unlikely it is, so I don't really have a commitment that I have to make.
Gotcha.
So.
No, hey, we'll make it happen, dude. We'll put it on we'll put it on Blake's dime too.
yeah, for sure.
Like, we deserve this, man.
We'll crowdfund it.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody, again, thank you for watching. Again, if you've been with us for weeks, thank you for being a repeat viewer. We certainly appreciate it. We'll come at you with more content throughout the playoffs and the off season. Everybody, good luck this weekend, and we will see you next week.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, everybody.